everybody, this is Heather with the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District and wanting to wish everybody a happy Arbor Day. And I felt it fitting that since we couldn't do our tree seedling sale pickup this weekend, I'd go over a little bit about what a bare root seedling actually looks like and then how to plant it. Again, we're not going to know an update until May 6th on the future of the tree sale, so just please be patient. As we're all in this together and we're trying to figure out the best course of action. So I was able to find a tree seedling growing in my backyard. If you guys were part of the persimmon slash locust debacle a few years ago, you're going to kind of cringe a little bit. But I was able to find the only seedling in my backyard that was growing happened to be a little black locust tree. So here is an example of a bare root seedling. So you see you literally have the stem and the roots. There's no soil on those roots, there's nothing. So that's what we mean when we say a bare root seedling. Another thing that I want to point out is the length. So these seedlings are measured root to tip. So that doesn't mean from the first root hair up to the tip of the trunk. That means from the bottom root all the way to the top. So this seedling here, when we get our ruler, the top of it without the leaves is only 11 inches. Okay, so when we say something in a range like 12 to 18 inches or something like that, that's literally what we mean, from that very bottom root all the way to the tip. All right. All right, so now we're going to go over a little bit about how to plant your seedling. So of course, we're going to assume that you've already checked with all the utility services, dialed 811 for making sure you're not going to hit a power line or underwater line, something like that. So I know in my backyard, the middle of my backyard is safe. I have no overhead power lines, I have no underground lines, and I'm free from my house or any other structures on the property. So another key to these seedlings for their survival is the actual hole that you planted in itself. Herb Petticord, which is a retired forester in our area, has a great saying, "Too low won't grow, too high won't die." And it's a really catchy and easy to remember saying for how deep to plant your tree. So when you look at your seedling, no matter if you've got a little bare root seedling or you have a full size, 5-foot tree, they're all going to have this first root hair. So that's going to be your guide for how deep to plant it. So you want it just above that first root hair and where that root collar. So that's where the root and the trunk actually join together. Usually it can be seen by kind of a bulge and the difference between the tree and the root, the tree trunk and the root where they meet. So you're going to use that as your guide for your soil line. And you notice that I don't actually have a shovel. I just have this little garden trowel. That's literally all that I need to plant a tree this size. And if I kind of put this up to the garden trowel, you can see that's about the size hole I'm going to need. So I want, just an inch or two all the way around to be able for, especially here, I've got some really compacted clay backfilled soil in my backyard. So I want to be able to have those roots grow a little bit easier. You can add in some potting soil. We don't recommend adding in any kind of fertilizer because you will put them into a little bit of a transplant shock. And then it's also just a little bit too much. You don't want to burn those roots. You want them to get established on their own. You're going to have a much healthier tree for a much longer period of time. So once I found my location, I've got my seedling. I have went ahead and I've dug my hole. Again, my hole is about as big around as what this garden trowel is. So I'm going to make sure that my tree is nice and straight. I'm going to go ahead and backfill all around of it. And then I'm also going to make sure that I am trying to get out any air pockets. So you can see I'm kind of going like this with my garden trowel. And again, we just want to get out all of the air pockets that might be in our tree that would kill it. The next thing that we're going to do is give it a little bit of water. And I try to think of it as a sponge. So if I squeeze a sponge and I'm able to squeeze it, it's nice and soft, but no water is running out, then I know that my soil moisture is just right. If I squeeze it, I have a ton of water coming out, I know I've got way too much water, and I don't need to water for probably a few days. If I can't squeeze it at all, it's not soft and pliable, then I know I'm super dry and I'm going to need to add water, maybe, you know, a couple times a day, just depending on how hot it is, to let that water soak into the ground nice and slow. So that's pretty much all there is to actually planting your bare root seedling. Of course, when you do receive these seedlings, we do recommend that you plant them as soon as you can, just to get them into the ground quickly and increase their survivability rate. If you're not able to plant them when you receive them, just make sure you keep them nice and cool, you keep the roots moist, and you keep them out of the sun. The next thing is protecting these seedlings. If you live in a high deer area or rabbits, you have dogs, even kids, we do recommend that you protect them because these are seedlings. I mean, essentially, let's be honest, they're just baby trees. So if you have the ability to even put them in pots, to keep them close to your house to maybe discourage predators or lawnmowers and things like that, that's a great idea. If not, you can get some chicken wire or just some simple welded wire to put around them, and that'll help protect them and also keep varmints from coming in. You can also even try putting like some dog hair or some soap around your seedlings to try to discourage things like deer. They have that human smell or dog smell to them, to try to deter them from coming in and eating your seedlings, because at this stage these leaves are super soft, they're super sweet, so they're going to be very attractive to your wildlife. So again, that's pretty basic, simple tree planting for your bare root seedlings. Again, we're not going to know anything until May 6th, so please hold off any questions if we've made decisions earlier. We are not going to make any decisions earlier, but hopefully we will see you sometime in May to distribute your trees. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us through our Facebook page. You can call our office numbers, which are listed on our Facebook page and also our website. And we just hope you guys are staying safe and able to enjoy the springtime. Thanks.